Yo, what's up, guys? This is part two of the video that I was just doing on how men can learn to lead, the rise of the self-help culture, and the failure of the past two generations to bestow their knowledge upon us, and why there's now this community trying to bestow knowledge. All right, so part two. What does this say about our culture right now? It says it states the failure, get this, of religion. Right? What do you mean by the failure of religion? Well, it's also a failure to educate children on religion. You weren't educated, I wasn't educated. It's been three generations of a failure of the church and a failure of religion. And that made a failure of the cult of self. Because now that failure, you have this rise of the cult of self, the self help groups, the self this, self improvement, self everything. It's all materialistic, the whole thing. It's all material based. So that's the failure in religion. Now, the failure in religion is twofold, right? Think about it this way. So some people could claim, oh, bad priest, bad laity, right? Bad people just not going to church. So the failure of religion is twofold. That is the failure of men to do their religious duties, to order their lives properly. Now, I'll make a recommendation, and you non-Catholics will real like this, is the failure of men. What you don't see the failure of men in religion is in the old traditional mass. There's a lot less failure of men. When you go, there's babies, there's wives, it's very militaristic. On the altar, you're watching the altar servers click and turn their heels, and the every action is very, very laid out, from the kneeling on the steps of the altar to the approaching the altar, the sacrifice of the mass. Like, everything just makes a lot more sense, and it's very militaristic. And guess what militaristic stuff is? It's very, very masculine. So you could say, hey, a little bit of failure of Vatican II. Yeah, it made things a lot easier and lax. And when you lax things, men get bored. We get super bored. If things aren't like worth trying to strive for or do, it gets very boring very quickly. And then a whole bunch of guys want to, let's go start a fight club. Let's go, join this, do this like program, jump on ice baths and fight each other and put on boxing gloves and get yelled at like we're drill sergeants, because they want militaristic order. They used to get that from religion, right? Religion's very militaristic in its demeanor. You have the Ten Commandments, you have all the laws of Moses. They're very, very militaristic. The Mass, if you read the sacrifices in the Old Testament, it's very, very, very specific. The way the tribes are organized in Israel, very specific. The way the Catholic Church is organized, very, very specific, very detailed, very organized and militaristic in all that it does. And men like that. Men are drawn to that. It's hard. It makes it worth signing up for, right? You follow the commandments, you do the actions, they're very like poised and correct in like every single way. All right. So the second part is the failure of men now caused the failure of priesthood, right? So you have a failure of men, then you have a failure of priesthood. If the boys sitting there in the pews aren't watching strong priests, why would they want to become priests? It just looks like some kumbaya stuff. Like, no one wants that. At least men don't want that. That's certainly certain. They want militaristic, do something hard. That's why the self-help culture is saying do this hard thing and you will feel better about yourself. But really you should be just going to the mass and feeling better about yourself and following the rubrics and the commandments and raising your family accordingly. The great thing about it is it still exists. All the words are there. Everything's there. The formula has been printed out for 2,000 years plus, all the previous years of the Bible. All right. So twofold. Failure of religion is twofold. Failure of men to discipline their lives and have order. And secondly, the failure of that men caused the failure of the priesthood. Now we are in just a vicious cycle of it's just not working every single time. And they could have all the pizza parties they want, but it's never gonna get men through the door. They could have all the "This Man Is You" program, but until it's a "This Man Is You" and you got to follow the rubrics, and you shame some other folks and you shame some other men for their piss poor behavior, it's not going to work. You need everything. You need that shaming. You need other men to correct other men. Everybody's so scared to do that. All right, so here I'm going to tell you how to correct. Here's what modern man can do to correct, and it's not going to be manosphere red pill stuff. Go work out. That doesn't mean like you join like the fancy gym and then, hey, we got the program, we do the thing, and then we got kickboxing after. Like just go lift heavy weights. Grab heavy weights and go work out, because that discipline kind of helps you suffer, right? It gets your muscles sore. We're talking about demilitary, being in the fields and doing things and selecting troops. You select military troops, right? Every country produces both brave men. In the part 1 of the video, depends greatly upon different climates. Think about the climates as in different climates, different states of your life, right? If you're just soft all the time, sitting in front of a computer all the time, not exercising, not forcing yourself to do hard things, that changes your climate, right? We're in a climate controlled environment in big buildings. Maybe some of you guys are working in office buildings, sitting on cushy chairs. That's your climate. So men that come from different climates will be influenced appropriately. So you got to make your own climate. You got to make your life more miserable. So no one, and I'll read more from this book quickly just to remind you on part 1. No one, I can imagine, can doubt that the peasants are more fit to carry arms, since from childhood they've been exposed to all kinds of weather, been brought up to do the hardest labor. They endure the greatest heat, the sun, and they are strangers to the luxuries of life. They want them. The Romans wanted strangers to the luxuries of life because it makes you hard when you don't have soft, cushy things. And that's what you were built to do. That's why a lot of guys are miserable right now. They're too comfortable. Excuse me. So in order to be uncomfortable, go work out, lift weights, make your muscles sore, get that discipline, and then start to willfully suffer. How can you willfully suffer? Quick way to do it in our land of plenty is to food. Just deny yourself some meals, deny some things that you like. And Lent is a great time to do this for, us Catholics. Because when you do it during Lent, it can build out throughout the year. Some of my best Lenten practices, or my best not Lenten, but yearly practices that I now implement all year long, yearly sufferings, started during Lent. So willfully suffer, start to deny yourself things that you would naturally want, like on purpose. And the great way to do that is through food. It's just easy. It's harder and it's easier at the same time, but the food regulates base desire. Second thing I'd say to correct, we'll go over a couple things. Workout, lift weights, willfully suffer starting with, denying meals, denying snacks, things along that nature. Then I recommend to all you guys, read the Bible. A good copy, get the Douay Rheims copy of the Bible. You can order it. It's like $40. Best investment. Just read it cover to cover. And if you're having trouble starting, start in Kings, because it's awesome. Kings is great. It's David, it's Solomon, it's war, it's people are backstabbing each other. God is involved in the whole thing. It's very masculine and militaristic. Read the Bible. Get Douay Rheims' Bible. Go grab the Catechism of Trent. Read it cover to cover. And if you do 5 pages a day, it's like I don't know how many hundreds of pages it is. But anyway, you could make a quick plan to do all those things. Go grab the Baltimore Catechism. Baltimore Catechism, and that'll give you all the great answers. Once you grab that Baltimore Catechism, you'll start to realize who you are. The end result, you're going to know why you were made and the basic questions of why you're here, why you're a man. So if you like this video, please like it, share it, whatever, I don't know, subscribe. And I'll be putting out more content like this, and it'll start to get longer form because I think now as the channel slowly grows, I will be able to put out longer videos and not have to do weird things like part 1, part 2 to keep it all under 15 minutes. Bye.